Hi everyone, welcome back to Smartyink Workshop. It's been a long time since I've come to you with a video of a make, but I'm back because it's Halloween. I've been very busy with customs and private orders and this and that, so I have not had a chance to make any videos or even make Annabelle, which I was supposed to give away, but I will give away this guy that I whipped up in a day because that's what I had time for. So at the end of the video, leave a little emoji on a comment with a mask and I'll know that you watched it. And I will pick a subscriber or some random person, whoever is in there. Hopefully you are subscribed. And I will give this mask to you. I will only ship it in the United States because it's very expensive shipping overseas. So only here in America will you have the grace of my mask. This is my first zombie ever, so forgive me if you see indiscretions or find anything that you think is lame. I think it looks cool, but you know, that's just me. I will share with you everything I did, the entire process, teeth, the eyeballs, the little hairs, and show you how to get this done. This was an old mask that I had of a lady, and I turned it into this. So let's get to work. And happy Halloween. Let's get to it. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, and all the other things you're supposed to do here on YouTube. And we begin this project with a mask of Alexandria Quartermain from General Hospital in the 80s. Alright, I've never made a zombie before, so I figured let me use something that I've had playing around so I don't have to waste more latex in case it comes out terrible. So let's see what we can do here. As always, I've made my own rubber cement paints with rubber cement, naphtha, which is thinner, and oil paints. And I've gone ahead and sprayed her with some reds and some purples and some blacks, just trying to make it look just gross and gnarly to have a good base to start applying my latex. I'm going to go ahead and cut the nostrils, the eyeballs I already punched out with my 10mm eye punch, and I'm going to rip some holes in this mask so I can have some nasty decay spaces to kind of work from. See how that looks. Now, like I said earlier, I've never made a zombie, and I feel like zombies are come in all sorts of shapes and forms, so I'm just cutting until I feel satisfied. You cut your own mask how you like. Just remember you can't go back, but you will be applying more latex and layers, so you can always cover up a hole if you have to, so go at it. Just don't cut yourself. Alright, let's have some fun with latex. So I have taken my Castech latex, which is the one I like to use, and I've added some flesh tones from my Nocturna series Vallejo paint set. And we're going to create some nasty tissue-like pieces using actual 3-ply tissue, which I pull apart, and I use each layer as a thin piece of skin that I cover with the latex. And hopefully I've gotten the color correct We will only find out when the latex dries, and it dries a lot darker than it appears in the cup. It looks like I have, like, I don't know, strawberry milk, but it's gonna dry nasty looking, hopefully. So I have pulled apart the tissue like I mentioned earlier, and I'm only using one of the plies, and I will lay it down and sort of brush latex on a sheet of wax paper, and then kind of hold the tissue there and adhere it, or just do what you want, but that's my method, as you see. And it's very hard because the tissue wants to tear apart as soon as it gets wet, so you got to be gentle and be quick about it because it disintegrates the longer it sits. Now, just a disclaimer, my method is not the method. I'm still learning. So whatever I see, I do sometimes. If I see tissue, I've seen paper towel, I've seen toilet tissue be used. I feel like I'm using tissue because I don't like to use so much latex, and I'm going for thin, almost see-through pieces here. So that's why the tissue, and that's why I'm using only one ply. And we're going to repeat the process with the latex and the tissue until we have enough layers applied to this face. Also, I will paint some latex directly onto a piece of wax paper later on and just use that without the tissue for extra dangly, gooey, ugly pieces, as you will see. Now you can't tell by the coloration of the latex, but I have changed the color a little bit by adding a little bit more red and some brown into the batch. So when it dries, we're gonna have different layers of latex with slightly different coloration so that you can see decay happening in different ways on the face. Now after I'm done applying these little tissue sections, I'm going to fill in some of this area with a little bit more of a reddish latex so that we can just really get some depth and the layers start to show. We're going to go ahead and use a trusty popsicle stick to fill in some of these little mini gaps in between the mask and the latex just to get a more gruesome look. And it's more red, so you can actually see the difference here that it's more pink. But it will dry on the red side. When you mix your colors, you have to sort of be familiar as to how your acrylic paints mix with latex. You start to figure it out once latex dries. You thought it was light gray and it's black, so you figure you use less paint. And that's the process of learning. You just figure things out. Alright, now this looks like the ham face killer, like fresh ham sandwich coming right at you. I can't wait to see what it looks like dry. Hopefully not like ham. And there it is. Looks pretty awesome. You can see all the difference in the layers and the coloration and all the pigments we used. I've gone ahead and painted eyes because I did it without filming, so I apologize for that. But I painted them white and then went over them with the yellow wash to get a gross eyeball. And I'm going to apply some red capillaries and some red wash as well to make it look more like he's been through something awful. And yes, him, because now this mask's going to be a dude. We'll be adding a little bit of beard hair later. And here I've already painted his little iris, which was a super washed down blue-gray kind of zombie color. And we're adding more red because he wasn't ugly enough. And I think it's working. It's giving him a really creepy, deadly kind of look. So, I mean, it's a zombie, right? You can add as much red or as much yellow as you want. And we're using a little liner brush with some black to cover up that little ring of the punch out so you don't see the layer of latex, and it emphasizes the creepiness of the eyes. Okay, I'm taking my dry brush here and some super watered down black acrylic wash, and I'm going to fill in some of these tight spots that I won't be able to get into with the airbrush, so I can make this guy look super crazy, scary. It really does make everything pop once you start adding black. You can see the difference here. So add as much black as you feel like. All right, I'm super pleased with this paint. So let's make some nasty teeth using some friendly plastic. These are little beads that you throw in hot water and they soften up, and you can shape them how you like. They almost feel like balls of hot glue, which I think they might be. So let's see what we can do here. These little beads start off white, but they are clear when they're warm. As they cool down, they will return to a white kind of color, but they almost look like, bone or tooth. They're slightly translucent, so it really works well for situations like this when you need to make a quick, nasty tooth. They cool down pretty quickly, so I don't know, find yourself whatever tool you like to get whatever shape you like. I use a popsicle stick, I use shears, I use a razor, whatever you have. But, keep it safe and don't burn yourself because these things get pretty hot. I mean, I used like boiling water. I think you should probably just use warm water, not super hot water. Here it is, all cooled down. So you can see it's back to white. Let's see about where we're gonna place these. And I will be using epoxy resin to stick these suckers on there because we need to get them to stay on permanently. Now I'm using 5-minute epoxy, so you have a really short work time. So that's why you plan where you're gonna put your teeth in before you do it, and get popping and get it done. I will be applying another round of tissue or latex over these teeth so that they look like deteriorating gums or whatever, and we'll take it from there. Now, these teeth are a little white, so we're going to apply some nasty washes. With acrylic paint, I've mixed a brown, a yellow, a this, or that, and we're going to apply it in very light sheer coats, however you like. I like to apply it darker towards the root because that's how teeth would decay naturally. Towards the root, darker, and lighter towards the tip. So, here we go. these are looking so nasty. And I think I'm satisfied. So let's do a little bit more. Just make it look a little more gross. And we'll be done here. I will be applying epoxy over these teeth at the very end to seal in the washes and also to give it the wet look. Because zombies are always drooling and wet and nasty. I'm taking a dry brush here on the medium side, and I'm using like a yellowy greenish puke color just to brighten up the underlayer under the latex. And that just makes it look a little more gray, a little more rotten, because there's a lot of colors in rotten. I'm truly liking where this is heading. I can see that it looks a little more decayed, having gone over it with that lighter color. So I recommend doing that if you went as dark as I did on the first layer. Oh my goodness, this is my first zombie or undead mask, and I really like where it's headed. Let me know what you all think down in the comments. I know there's better zombies out there, but this is my first one, so you gotta give me some credit here. I'm going to gray out or just pale up these sections of flesh where I feel are too red or too pink, too raw. It just needs to look a little more aged. So let's add more of that like weird bone puke color. And it seems to be working well. Oh wow, this thing looks disgusting. I mean, this is what we have so far. Here it is outside. It looks gross outside. So we're gonna go ahead and add the extra latex over the gums and under the eyes so we can get that creature-like feel. Okay, I think I filled in all the areas that I feel like needed to be filled in. You know, when you're making your own mask, you can do whatever you like. This is what I like, so here it is. And let's let that dry so it can look totally awesome, because look at this. Disgusting. Ugh, those teeth give me nightmares. All right, let's add some more black. And actually, let's add some more gray. Then we'll add some more black. We're gonna gray him out a little bit because he was looking a little too red. And I think it's gonna help look more aged. All right, we're gonna go into the recessed areas with the black and just make everything else, the skin and everything that has a 3D feel or dimension to it, just stand out more by deepening that recessed area. And since I've gone ahead and sprayed so much freaking black all over the whole thing, it looks disturbing. And I'm glad I did it. Alright, let's give this Zom some little leftover hair pieces, because zombies always have little stringy, nasty little hairs hanging. And we're going to use some leftover hair that I have from, I don't know, Samuel Loomis's beard or whatever. And we're going to use it. It's kind of gray, ugly. And after it's dry, having used silicone bondant, of course, as always, because it does not come off, we will use a razor and kind of just thin it out and make it look a little more natural. And I'm going to add some hairs on his chin, too, because now he's a dude. A burnt up, zombie, creepy, nightmarish dude. Now all I'm doing here is using a popsicle stick and applying some of the silicone, pressing the hair down on it, and with the clean end, pushing the hair down and pressing it so it almost disappears into the mask. And it'll stay. It's that simple. Put as much hair as you want, or no hair, whatever hair you feel like. Alright, I feel satisfied with this mask. I hope you all enjoyed the process and maybe learned something from this. I know I learned a few things along the way, and I was happy to share with you all. Again, thank you for joining me at Smartyink Workshop. Let's take a look at what we have here.